All right, welcome to all you preppers in the house today. I'm Jerry. Before we get started, please hit that subscribe button, and if you would, hit the like button. Today, sorry, no pantry talk today. Not showing you food clips or pictures of food. This is going to be a little more of a serious talk, and just telling you up front, if mention of something that might be political, you know, whether it's neutral or not, if something comes up or we're talking about some serious issues in our country, if you don't like those type of talks, they bother you, you know, go back and check one of my other videos out. I've got a playlist of all kinds of videos on the food prep playlist, and move on to another video. I don't want to, you know, disrupt your day. If you're having a great day today, I'm going to make this as light as possible. But there's some things that needs to be talked about. I can't change who I am. I am who I am, and I can't apologize for that, and I'm not going to. And just sitting back and observing the country, and I'm assuming if you're still here, you're here for this video, so thank you for joining me. Thank you for being here. It might be two of you, but thank you. But looking back at this year, starting off, you know, will there be another shutdown? Well, that remains to be seen. We'll find out. Well, stay tuned. To be determined. But looking back at this year, we had a small shutdown at the beginning, and it was from an unknown virus that came. We had a lot of unknowns. There was a big fear that our medical staff and our hospitals and doctors' offices were unprepared, that they would be overrun, and it was asked that we come together as a nation to shut down our country and to stay at home and to shut the schools down, close the businesses down, everybody work from home, and that it was going to be for just a short period of time because we needed to flatten the curve. And I remember watching news after news after news about showing how we need to flatten the curve, flatten the curve, flatten the curve. So everyone, wow, you know, okay, this is serious, you know. We need to do this for safety. And, you know, I'm on board. I think most Americans were on board for this. Let's come together as a nation and let's do something that we've never done. And we've shut down other countries from coming in and out of America. We shut down travel. You know, we did so much, shutting everything down, and came to a halt almost, right? Except for the essential services and churches. You know, no church. I mean, it's a big deal. All across America, churches everywhere shut down. I mean, when's the last time that's happened, right? So, you know, for weeks, and we kind of made it through that time period, and we flattened the curve. We did it. We saw all the documentation. We saw all the reports and all the doctors and congratulating America. Now, was there an immediate reopening of everything? No, there wasn't. It was not an immediate reopening. It continued. And in some states, it got locked down even harder than that. And just a quick statement, it's always been my fear. And I'm old enough to have seen this through my short lifetime. And anytime you give up a freedom or your freedom of choice, it sometimes becomes very hard to get that freedom back again, to get that freedom, that choice that you used to have. It's hard to obtain that and to rip that freedom back out of the hands of whoever is running the show at the time, to get that freedom back again. And so then we had the extended shutdown. Well, obviously that became a problem. People needed to go back to work. People were losing money. People needed to pay bills. You know, people wanted to go back to some sort of normalcy. Restaurants, you name it. You know, cruise lines and airplanes and all these different things. And we can sit here and just talk about every aspect of our lives of it needed to get back to some sense of normalcy. And people, I think, were still willing to wash their hands. I think they were still willing to wear masks. To be able to be allowed to go back to some safety, no social distancing, all the things that became drilled into us, but yet it got pushed back in our faces. Well, what about safety? Safety, don't you love people? And I had that preached at me. Don't you love people? Don't you love the elderly? Don't you love them, and the grandmas and the grandpas and the children and other people? And are you so close-minded, and are you so selfish that you don't love people? Well, no, of course I love people. Well, then you need to shut down. You need to stay in place. You need to not go back to work. You need to not go back to school. You need to not have a business. You need to just continue this. Well, till when? Till how much longer? What? Well, until no one dies again. Well, what do you mean no one dies again? I mean, people die daily all across America for some reason or another. Sometimes it's for the flu. Sometimes it's for cancer. Sometimes it's car wrecks. Do we stop driving? I mean, don't we love people? Shouldn't we stop driving on the roads because we love people? We don't want to see people die in car wrecks. We need to shut down the traffic and the highways. We need to shut it down because we love people, right? And I know I'm being sarcastic here. And look, I love people. I love grandparents. I do. And I think a lot of our leadership loves people. And a lot of our leadership loves families. But for some, I don't know how it's happening, but the fear of the few is driving the way that our country is. And there becomes a fine line from safety to freedoms. And I believe that fine line has just been pushed and pushed and pushed until, some of those freedoms, I don't know if they're coming back. I just don't know. The whole wear the mask, and man, everywhere we go in this whole year, some places you couldn't even go in the building if you didn't have a mask. You couldn't buy your groceries if you didn't wear a mask. Did I wear a mask? Yeah, I wore a mask. I'm trying to be, helpful. I'm trying to do my part. I'm trying to, even though I highly believe unless you're wearing an N95 mask, and I've watched friends that were religiously wearing cloth masks, they got COVID. I'm just telling you. They were the most straight and narrow, safety, precautionary, germ killing, mask wearing, sanitize using people I've ever known, people that I personally know, and they got the COVID. Well, they weren't wearing N95 masks; they were cloth masks. Well, I understand. Well, we don't sneeze on each other and stuff like that. Well, you know what? I don't do that anyway. I don't go around. I don't cough on people. I don't sneeze on people. I cover it up. But they're wearing the mask. They still got COVID, and that's what's not really being talked about. And it's become this false smoke and mirror facade. You wear the mask. Everything's going to be okay. And I just don't agree with that. And I think, again, it's just taking away our choice, our freedom of choice to whether we want to wear it or not. I don't believe the government was created to tell me as a father and as a family person, as a family man, on what should be deemed safe for my kids. That's my choice. That's up to me to raise my kids and teach them what's safe and unsafe and to protect my kids. And that's on me. It shouldn't be the government handcuffing me, mandating and telling me what's safe and unsafe, and I have to abide by that, or I'm not allowed to go buy groceries, or I'm not allowed to go do this, or I'm not allowed to go do that. That's where I start having the problem of the freedom versus safety. Look, and I know we can sit here, we can argue it, and you can put comments in there, that's fine. You can thumbs up, you can thumbs down. I get all this, and this is YouTube, and I understand. This is my personal opinion, okay? You don't have to agree with me. And I talk with people about this that don't totally agree about everything about this, and we'll have a nice conversation, and we'll dictate back and forth why we think what we think and why we believe what we believe, and we can shake hands, and we can still be friends. And I hope that you and I can still do that. I hope you will still be a subscriber. I still hope that we can have a great channel, and that we can together build it and still have a lot of fun on YouTube. I'd like to do that. But I do know that there's certain people that can't handle this. And I tried to warn you up front. I told you, if you can't handle this, it's better that you just don't even watch it. So hopefully you're doing okay. Is everybody okay right now? You guys doing okay? One of the other big things, look, I go to church. That's not a mystery. And I actually work at a church slash preschool slash daycare slash Christian school. And so I am around all those aspects. And I've been through it. I've seen it. I've seen where the daycare was allowed to be open because the essential workers needed a place for their kids. So we stayed in good contact with the governor, with the mayor and everything here where I live, and making sure through the health department that we were on par. And you know, during this whole past year with the kids, we didn't have a pandemic. We didn't have coronavirus with the kids and it running rampant and the teachers. Now, over the course of time, here and there, some people have gotten it and things, but you know, we didn't have to shut down. We were able to stay open and using very good set of rules and cleaning procedures and some distancing procedures and some separation procedures. And I think that we did that very successfully. I think it was the leadership that I've been under here, very great model, very well organized, very well thought out. Now the church did close, and I saw a lot of other churches across our nation close, and some in particular in California. And even after things had been lifted through most of the country, people were dying to go back to church. Look, the spiritual welfare of people in the mental state, we have an RU program here at our church for recovery of people with addictions and drug addictions and alcoholism, and in which we could talk about how that's been escalated through all this. But that needed to be opened. We needed to be there to help people. We needed to be able to have the church open to start helping the healing of people that live in fear, that have a mental or spiritual pain or a void or something that they're dying to help. Look, it's just as important as a hospital. It's a spiritual hospital, folks. All across America, all the spiritual hospitals were shut down. California, pastors were begging their leadership in California, please let us open again. After we were open, most of America churches were open. California was imposing fines, not even allowed to sing. Small groups the large churches couldn't have church. And they started having church anyway. Started getting posted fines. Look, I'm talking about freedom. This is America. Where's the freedom of religion? Where's the freedom of choice? Why is the state stepping in and telling them they can no longer have church after... Well, you know the story. I can sit here and just go on and on and on. But social media would just blast churches, would blast schools, blast us, and just blasting, saying, you don't love the kids. You know, what about safety? You're trying to kill our kids. You're trying to kill these kids. No, we're not. You're trying to kill, you know, people and the older people. And I can't believe your church. I thought you were Christians. I thought you were supposed to love people. Look, heard it all. Seen it all. Lived through that. Look, that's not the case. That's not what this was about. That's not the fear that's been driven and hammered into people, has consumed people into taking that aggressive stance in that, you know, you need to do what we're doing. No, we're not pushing ourselves on you. You shouldn't be pushing yourselves on us. We're not going around pushing our agendas on you and our rules and what our beliefs are. We're not pushing them on you. You're welcome to come and partake in those beliefs and in those rules if you'd like to do that, but we're not hammering down your place of business. We're not loading up social media against your place of business and trying to stir up problems because of the choices that your place of business or your household of what you do. And I've seen it go too far here in America. And I can sit here and rant on that, but let's move on. Kids in public schools. My wife works at a public school. So I've seen both sides of this, folks. Private, public, it doesn't matter. There's no... Once this ball started rolling, once this monster of shutdowns and everything, it didn't care if you're a Christian or non-Christian. It didn't care if you're Muslim. It didn't care, you know, if you're Jewish, you're black or white or Asian or any of these things. It didn't matter. It was coming after everybody. All these mandates and everything, taking away the freedoms and kids not being able to go to school. And in the public school system especially, I saw through my wife's eyes and the stories coming back that, look, these kids needed to be in school. Some were being left home alone. Because you know what? Parents, they don't care. They're going to work. They got to make money. They're just leaving their kids. They're not being responsible. And some of these kids came from abusive homes. This was the chance for them to get away and have a safe place at school. And to have that network of friends, that network of teachers who love them and want to care for them and take care of them. They lost that. The kids wanted to go back to school. They wanted to have that sense of the freedoms and the things that they could enjoy but while going to school. But yet, social media, and you have the people, don't you love the kids, the teachers, don't you care about the teachers, that they're going to die? No, teachers aren't dying. I've seen it. Some of them, even at my school, they've gotten sick. They've survived. And we can contain it. We can maintain a level of safety and still live life. You have to live life. You've got to be able to move on from this. You have to still have your procedures, practice safety, social distance, all these things, but at some point you got to be able to live your life and have freedom. You hear people can't open the country back up. We're going to have more shutdowns. You know, business is still suffering. Look, what can we do? You say, okay, Jerry, what do we do about this? And sometimes I sit back and think, well, the first thing, you can vote. Depends on who you vote for. Oh, wait, we did that, right? And it sounds like we're split down the middle in the country. We tried to vote. I tried to vote. Look, I'm trying to vote for some normalcy. All right, I'm tired of voting for politicians, folks. I'm just tired of it. That's why I voted for who I voted for the first time. That's why I voted for something other than a politician. You know, I don't want the guy who just goes around, has awesome speech, knows all the right words to say, can calm us, you know, stroke us, and oh, it's going to be all right, and we have all the answers, and you know, I kiss the babies, and the politician, right? We know that in the back there's the snake, and nothing's really going to happen, and it's all going to be a bunch of nothing. And over the years, decades, I just got tired of that, and you know, I tried voting. Now I know every state's different. The Senate's different. We can vote for different senators, representatives, and that's one thing we can do. And I know we did. I know we went out, and in some instances, I think, you know, everyone had a voice. And regardless of what the final outcome is, the people have spoken. And the people are going to get what they voted for, however that turns out. No, that's what you get. And more of the same, maybe we're having another shutdown this year. I know it's been said that if it comes to that, we will shut down, depending on who takes office permanent here, when they figure out the mess that we're in. And they've said we'll shut right back down again, and it could be worse than what we've dealt with this year. Look, our economy, I don't think can handle another shutdown. I mean, but you know what? I'm not in charge. I don't like it, and I'm going to keep doing everything I can for the people that I'm in, for folks that I can help encourage, that's subscribers to my channel. You know, still prep. We're still getting prepared. I don't know what the end of 2020, we're not even out of this year, let alone let's start talking about 2021. We can't look into the future. We can't see what's going to happen. But what I can see is what I saw this year. Our safety versus freedom. Wow. I mean, that's huge. And will that be built upon? Sometimes if people see the ball rolling, wow, I'm getting people to fear. I'm getting people to choose to take away their own freedom. I don't even have to take it away from them. They're handing me their freedoms. They're just giving it away. They're not even fighting for their freedom. They're not even sitting back, taking time to consider the consequences. They're just giving their freedoms away. So if they say, wow, they're doing that, why stop now? Why do we want to quit? The media, wow, just running rampant. Well, why do we want to stop now? We've had people in a frenzy this whole year. Why are we going to quit that? Why, you know, right now they've been about the election, but once the election finally has died down and things are kind of behind us and the lawsuits are behind us and, you know, who the final president is, once that's behind us, you know, it's going back to COVID, folks. It's going to go right back into that. And you know it's going to be hyped, and, you know, they're not going to let off the pedal. And if you keep baiting into that and you keep feeding into that and keep handing away your freedoms, look, there's going to be a time. You've heard the old fable. I've never done this, but you've heard the fable of the pot of water, and you know, and you put the frog in there and he's all cozy in lukewarm water and he's happy, and you have that pot sitting on the stove, right? and it's a myth. You know, I've never tried it. You know, I figured I'm not gonna cook a frog until he dies, unless I want frog legs. And you know, if I'm gonna eat it, then I guess maybe I'll try it. I just felt like it's just torturing a poor frog, so I didn't want to do that. But what the myth goes, the fable goes, the story is, if you put the frog in that water and he's happy, it's on the stove, if you just slowly increment, just a couple degrees at a time, you just slowly increment that heat, that the frog never jumps out, and that he'll finally slowly boil to death alive, and until he dies in that water, that he never really, it just is just such a small increments that it just doesn't ring a bell to him. It doesn't say, hey, I need to get out of this thing. And then whether that's a true story or not, if you've tried it, hey, put it in the comments if that's something that, I don't know if it's true or not. But it fits, right? It fits what I'm trying to say. As far as all these little things that just kind of keep happening, and we just keep saying, okay, yes, let's do this, let's take that away, yes, let's do it. You know, for safety, we're all about safety. Let's give our freedoms away to everybody because safety, and in the name of safety, we love everybody. And okay, again, I'm being a little sarcastic. I do believe in safety in some things, but you see what I'm saying. You see that you just keep doing that in increments, and they keep taking it to another level, until one day you wake up and you look back and say, wow, remember back when we used to be able to do this? Remember when this and that, and now we can't do this? Look, don't let it get to that day. There's countries, I'm not going to take any more time. I'm already over 20 minutes, so I can take any more time to talk about other countries and their histories. Some of these countries are looking at America saying, look, you need to stop what you're doing. Let alone, I even talked about the potential of take away the ammunition and the guns of Americans, that I know that's coming more down the road. Because of why? Because of safety. We need to take away the guns and everything because of safety, right? So anyway, that's for another video. I hope you all are doing well. This is stuff to think about, folks. I don't have an answer for you that just wave a magic wand and fix this. If you do, put it in the comments below, and maybe we need to pass that on to the higher ups, you know. But I hope that you do your part, and I hope that you're all still prepping and getting prepared for whatever in life. Just get ready, and I appreciate you guys. God bless you all, and have a great rest of the day.